Hey guys, and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the mods I use for Sid Meier's Civilization 5 to kind of give it a fresh breath of life. And we're also going to play around. So, if you don't know, Sid Meier's Civilization 5 is a city nation builder that is, I forget what the technical term is. I don't think, like 4 times or whatever it's not RTS, it's turn based, but I don't remember what that designation is, if it's 6 times or 4 times. But I play on Steam, and the Steam is nice because it has a workshop for some games that allow modders to submit mods for a very ease of use install. So we're going to go to the workshop here. We're going to go to my workshop files, which I don't upload or anything, but subscribed items, which will allow me to see what I have downloaded. And we're just going to go through the list. There's 7 items. There's 66 mods. I don't use every single one of them in most games, but we're going to go through them, try to make it relatively quick, and then just jump into a game. So, Better Training Mod is a mod used to give your units better EXP, and it allows them to... Actually, I think this one I'm going to take off because now that I think about it, this one it gives like a bunch of cheese bonus XP, so we're going to remove that one. I think I used it once or twice, and I was like, the time it takes to get it, kind of, you're already almost moving into the Renaissance age, so it felt like it didn't have that early game benefit against barbarian hordes, because I always play on raging barbarians. I have yet to try this next mod, C15 America, Chrissy's Nation packs, Thomas Jefferson. I liked it because I always like to see different iterations of American leaders and how people interpret what they would offer the American nation in terms of the unique unit, the unique building, and their bonuses and so on. So looking forward to trying that one. We might actually play that one first. We'll see. Missionaries do not ignore borders. I love this one. I despise trying to set my cities up for a what's that term? Oh man, we're gonna. It's the counter religious. It's the counter religious unit that you can sit inside your cities and let them protect. And it takes like a turn to spawn them or something, and then somebody will zip across my border with one of these stupid missionaries on my roads I build, and then just pop off their own religion. So I'm really glad that this mod exists. Because, yeah, I get the notion of missionaries can go wherever they need to go, but to have to declare war to get those to like get these guys to leave essentially is ridiculous to me. So this is a nice mod that kind of adds a realism of there are countries that probably would require that would be just like, no, you're not coming to the country. You would have to have formal diplomatic relations. Like there are countries and nations that have closed borders, just like Japan did for many years. You know, I don't know the period piece, the time period, but I know that there are several times in history where Japan closed their borders to Protestant and Catholic Christian missionaries, and also to nations until they were, I don't want to say forced to open up to the Western world, but I know Commodore Perry was sent by the U.S. government to try to like, hey, we're going to have relations with you, and we can do this easy way or the hard way, essentially. And I know that kind of followed suit, but I know that there was periods in time where Japan was closed off, and I'm sure there are other countries as well, other nations. So this is a nice little homage to like the realism of that. Quick turns is a good mod because it, based on the description, real quick, it just essentially toggles quick movement combat during AI turns, which results in significantly reduced time. So I love to play Civ 5, and I have several thousand hours in it. I don't like playing without the quick turns and quick combat. It takes too long. It bogs things down. It's a nice from an aesthetic standpoint, and we probably won't, but we might play with this turned off. But yeah, when I'm in the mood to blitz a game in a couple hours, I always love having this on. This Rome Julius Caesar mod I like a lot. I like anything Rome. I mean, as a person who likes strategy games, you tend to have an enjoyment of history. So I like a Julius Caesar Rome. I like it above the Augustus Caesar base vanilla Roman civilization. Plus, I think he gets Centurions as his unique unit, or Praetorians is his unique unit. They're pretty cool. Advanced naval units. You can only play the vanilla game so many times before the units start to get a little bored. So I've added a couple mods, including this one, that broaden the roster, especially for naval units, where if you do play on larger maps, you are going to have a majority body of waters. And it just gives you some more... It gives you some more juice, like gas in the tank, to keep playing. This one's, once again, very similar. Naval units in different eras. This is a better worker mod, and what that does is, just on a little quick glance note in here, it says ignore terrain cost, embarkation, extra moves, extra sight. So that's a nice little thing to kind of give these guys more pep in the step, because sometimes you, and the same with better settlers, sometimes you do have a starting location in your game where it's just crap, and you might have to spend 1 or even 2 turns moving to get to a better, more ideal location. Like if you spawn in a tundra snow zone, if you're playing vanilla game, that's terrible. You're not gonna be able to work the tiles, and you would have to wait till you research the tree to even get the market to work the tundra tiles. So I think this is a nice way to just account for, hey, if you don't have an optimal start, if you don't even have a basic better than crap start, then you can, spend 1 turn, maybe 2, to get your guys quicker to somewhere else to then found that city on a hill or on a river or on the ocean. So I think it's very helpful. Better missionaries, very same thing. I think this pairs well because we're going to nerf the missionaries with the ability to not ignore borders, but we're now buffing them by allowing them to move fast, ignore terrain costs. So I think it's a very good even out kind of back and forth teeter mod to balance things. So that's kind of why I did that. The Grand Market, all these grand buildings, these upgrades, and the spy headquarters, all these kind of, what they do is they take those basic buildings and then give them a second tier upgrade that just kind of doubles, or even more so may give them higher benefits to upgrading them, which can be very handy. I mean, there's not really a whole needs to be said. Like a library upgrade is going to give you more research. A spy headquarter might give you, another spy or something. The water mill is going to give you more production food. So they're just base vanilla building upgrades that allow you to get more value out of them as you go into the farther ages. And I also think it's a nice way to kind of supplement, if tying back into the earlier sentence, if you have crappy starts and you don't want to spend 1 or 2, 3 turns marching, you can survive a little better with these mods, to where if you do have tundra, you don't have a river, or you don't have that much farmland, you can then have a granary upgrade, or you can have a watermill upgrade, or a library upgrade to be able to get better than, to improve your resource situation or improve your production situation to kind of keep up with the bots or your opponents. Leader statue is a single building that you can build like right from the start that just gives you plus 10 culture, plus 10 faith, and plus 5 happiness. So if you do run into like, once again, I play with Raging Barbarians, so I can't always afford to build a monument real quick, or a temple. So if I don't have the ability to do that, this is a building that kind of does 2 for the price of 1, and then I can focus on building warriors, or I could focus on trying to rush wonders. So it's a nice little thing to give you a little pep in your step. And once again, these are all quality of life mods, I think. Maybe not in terms of quality of life of improving like bad gameplay, but just allowing you to have a more enjoyable experience. And to me, that's perfectly reasonable. More barracks upgrades. Trade headquarters is another upgrade. Just gives you another trade market, trade route slot. These resolutions are nice. What these resolutions are is when you finally get the World Council, the United Nations, essentially, you can vote on these, and then you have to get them passed and then work on them like wonders, and like the World's Fair and International Space Station and all that good stuff. And they just offer you individual bonuses. Like the naval, I think, is like, we'll read some of these in game, but they just offer you bonuses that affect your civilization as a whole if you win the race. We have a buffed policies mod, which has changed some of them and tweaked some of them. I don't play without this now. It's made what I like to do a lot is I like to policy hoard, and I like to wonder hoard. I like to have the most like culture per turn, and I like to have all the wonders if I can. I think a lot of people do, but that's just my gameplay. I love it every time. The composite bowman buff, just looking at this, it increases ring range strength and combat strength by just a couple of points. Not too crazy, but the composite bowman is a major step up from the basic archer, and you hold that for a while until you get crossbowmen. So I think it's very reasonable to kind of give them a little bit better of a strength, especially when you're facing barbarians. Who the barbarians I think will get horsemen, the axe archers, the axe throwers, and then maybe even spearmen or pikemen. Well, not pikemen, but spearmen. While you're generally speaking still on like warriors and archers until you get to the composite bowmen. So I think it's a nice way to balance out, especially for me playing on Raging Barbarians, the roster of the barbarians that you can't really keep up with to a degree. More weapon mods, easier promotions. This one's for me is very fun. It lowers the XP cost of your troops, so you can experiment more. One of the things I got kind of irritated by was you would kind of have to keep specking into until extremely late game. You'd have to keep specking into the same promotions to get to for a warrior. Prime example, like you'd have to spec into one of their field bonus trees to get to the auto heal every turn, or to get to the blitz for the double attack. So it's like this way you can do that, but then you because all the XP costs are cut in half, you can go past that and try out different trees and have a little more fun with unit combinations for mid and late game. And then another unit pack here, and then more cities. Basically removes the policy attack costs that are affected by the number of cities you have, and it also removes the city unhappiness. Once again, it's a quality of life thing. I usually, for the first couple 1,000 hours I played this game, I pretty much was a one city guy, and I didn't really like that. But the thing is that like if you kept founding cities, it kept increasing your culture costs and increase your unhappiness, and I felt like I always had more fun focusing on one mega city. But this way, I can found baby cities, and it doesn't negatively affect me while I pursue the Wonder Race. We have city-state bonus rebalancing. We have some buffs for the buildings. We have a luxury resource yield. This, I don't pay attention to it too much, but it nerfs and buffs certain mercantile culture and aggressive city-states to allow you to just kind of have maybe a bit more of a better experience with them. And I think it also might tweak their rewards, what they do for you. So we have a gold cost adjustment where it changes the requirement to buy buildings, I believe. And it has a modifier. Like I think there's a formula right in the description here, which is like 20 gold, 24 times production, up to some power or some point decimal system for base buildings. That's nothing I pay attention to too much, but I do use it just in case I need to found a city that in like a military zone, and then I have the goal to just blitz buying everything. So it's something I have there for, once again, like a quality of life ease thing. Starting worker, I think, is starter worker is a nice little mod, because what does it do? It starts you with a worker. Saves you 3, 4, 5 turns of producing that to get right away to building your farms. So I think that's a really nice quality of life thing. Wonder Race is really cool. I guess I gotta guess. I think I maybe have to stop saying quality of life, but I think it's a nice little perk to have at the beginning of the game where you have an extra worker, or you have a starting worker, extra unit starting worker. The Wonder Race is a very nifty thing where it alerts you or your opponent, in this case, to who is working on a wonder. So if somebody starts building a great library, it'll tell you that. So it's like, well, I need to drop everything I'm doing and get that wonder built. For people like me who just want to build them all, that's a very nice little mod. We've got a National Wonder, which adds National Wonders, which is like everyone can build National Wonders. These ones are not locked. If the first person builds it, no one else can. We've got more resources added here. I think it's like cocoa beans, olives, timber, and olive oil or something. And then submarines ignore borders. This one I really do like because it's the reverse of the missionary one. If a submarine is a stealth craft in 99% of cases, the ability to ignore borders I think is realistic and pretty cool. So that we're enjoying that one. These are just industrial. These are just building packs. I'm not going to go over too many of those because we'll see more of them inside the game. Faster plot expansion that helps fill in the holes. I think that's really crazy. I just really hate when I'm building several cities and then the very middle of them is there's a hole, and then you forget that you gave somebody border permission, and then an idiot enemy settler walks right in there and just has enough tile to found one city. Ridiculous. Workable mountains. I'm really surprised this isn't in the base game. It's awful silly considering mines can be found in mountains. Like they're mountain mines, mine mountains. This is like almost a must-have in my opinion to give yourself a little bit more production that really should have been in the base game. We've got we've got some resource packs here, some building packs, religious reworking, reworking the religion function. So that's a nifty thing there. It's pretty helpful. We'll see more of that in game. The units, a unit change where it makes it scout to explorer. It gives the explorer or the scout per se mid-late game viability. I guess late game viability by allowing him to upgrade to a semi-modern unit with more strength and a little bit hardier, and he can move faster. This is probably my favorite mod I have, arguably. It allows your scouts to... I don't think I ever read that. It allows your scouts to pick the bonus they receive from ancient ruins, and that's huge because you can pick the new technology, you can pick a culture bonus, you can upgrade your unit, get gold, see maps, and to be able to strategically use those in the order that you think is best is freaking awesome. Unlimited experience from barbarians. It no longer caps it. That's what I like to use in tandem with the half XP requirement mod to really buff up your units. And that's why I like to play on Raging Barbarians, because like you're going to get more experience, you're going to have no cap, but you don't want to make it too easy, so you turn on the harder barbarians so you're facing more of them. So it's a little bit of a balance, not completely, but it still makes it funner. Unit starting scout, and then another couple of resource things here in less war damaged cities. And then America, Franklin Roosevelt. He's one pack. I used to play him a lot when I was, I don't know, like he's fun to use, but this originally, I don't know if this has been changed, but when he first came out, his civilization was way too easy to use. Granted, that's your choice to use him, and he's fun, but yeah, I just don't have... I pretty much play exclusively as the Shoshone now. I just really, really like their abilities. So, yeah, I probably went too fast. I mean, we're at 18 minutes, which is crazy, but I'm going to end it here. And then the next one we'll go into actually playing, and you'll see how some of these mods pan out. And, yeah, we're just going to have fun. I love this game. I think I've never played 4. I tried 6, didn't care for it. I never tried New World. 5 is going to be in my probably top 3 strategy games I've ever played. It's very relaxing. There's a diverse roster of civilizations. The interactions are very humorous. It's just a fabulous game. And after so many years, I think it came out in 2010. After so many years of this being out, I can't believe how much it's still held up as far as part of like being in a top 5 or top 3 favorite list of games for me. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know I went a little fast, but I just felt like, and I'm already extending it more, but I'm not going to apologize. I guess I felt like I just wanted to go over the mods at a base level so that there is some understanding of why the game that we're going to be playing is acting, behaving, and looking differently in some aspects than the vanilla. So thank you guys for joining, and take care.